All right, we're back on the show here. We got Rick Cordeiro joining us, and I kind of let in from the last interview as saying that you're Canada's Al Capone, but no,
Yeah,
that's wrong.
I started off my acting career branding myself as that for
Yeah.
my TV film roles, but
Right.
I added up all the credits on my resume. I'm actually getting twice as many comedic roles.
Yeah.
So I have to try and figure out a way to repackage my branding and push the comedy part now, because that's what I'm getting a lot of work in now.
Okay, so can we mention any movies or shows or anything that people might be familiar with?
Well, a lot of the stuff I work on are independent films that do well at film festivals.
Yeah.
The odd TV commercial. Maybe people have maybe seen me on Rogers Wireless,
You-
Pizza,
Really?
Home Service Club commercials, and right now I'm starting to get more on the production side of things.
What do you mean, behind the camera?
Yeah, I'm going to be co-producing a film we're shooting later on in Italy that has a $20 million budget and has some big name actors attached to it, a couple more that I'm still working on to try and land, called
we s-
1000 The Sword and the Stone. I'm co-producing, casting, and acting in it as well. I figure if I'm going to be a casting director, I may as well give myself a role, right? Then I said, well, I'll give myself two roles. I'm playing two roles in the film.
That's the nice thing about having a good relationship with the casting director,
Yeah.
right? Now, what is that, a Canadian movie?
It's an Italian/Canadian production, joint production.
Okay.
I'm the Canadian part. My partner's in Italy. He's a screenwriter, award-winning screenwriter. Our script has won 25 awards already.
Wait, did you write the script?
No, he did.
He did.
Yeah,
So
it's
how-
won 25 awards already. It's already listed on the Internet Movie Database because you can submit your screenplay to a number of the film festivals.
Yeah.
They review it, and then it goes up against other screenplays, and it's won 25 plus awards already.
So, what's the name of the project?
1000 The Sword and the Stone. No connection to the Disney film. This is actually based on a true, genuine sword and stone that you can find in Italy, north of Rome, in the St. Galgano Chapel, and that's what our film will be about. It starts off with a modern-day character named Jack, a 12-year-old kid who tries to pull the sword out of the stone, and then he gets sucked into a wormhole, travels back in time 1,000 years into the year 1000, where we have the Knights Templars and kings and queens and monks and giants and dwarves and all sorts of creatures, and it's like sort of like Chronicles of Narnia, Harry Potter, Lords of the Rings, that type of feel our film's going to have.
So, what are you, one of the co-producers of this thing?
Co-producer, casting, and acting, yes.
So, where'd you get the budget for this? That's a lot of moolah.
Yeah, we got a few people. We already have distribution in place. The primary one is a company called New Gold Entertainment.
Yeah.
They're based out of Italy. They've been around for 6 decades, and they've done distribution for all the big films you've heard of, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Murder on the Orient Express, a lot of the earlier James Bond movies. So they're on board already to handle our distribution on all formats, DVD, online, big screen, worldwide. So that's huge for us. A number of other people who want to help us out with distribution and also financing. And we also have a couple of leads already for investors that want to hop on board and help us get this project into the filming stage.
So, what's the total budget going to be?
20 million.
20 million. Do you have the money yet?
Partially.
Partially, okay,
Yeah.
great. That's exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. I've never worked on anything this big before, and because of my 95% of my time online is on Twitter, so I'm always pushing myself, like promoting myself. I'm an actor. I can travel anywhere around the world, and I caught the attention of this guy, Guido Giordano in Italy, who's the screenwriter for this film. First, I started off as a book. He added me on Facebook and says he wants to turn the book into a screenplay, and then when it gets to that stage, if I can help him turn that screenplay into a movie, and that's the stage we're at right now.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing. So, is there any? Do you have any idea when you're gonna? I guess you're gonna have to go to Italy and shoot it, right?
Yeah, well, right now we're in the pre-production stage, doing all the casting. We're assembling a very talented production team. And on a daily basis, I'm getting emails from people who are offering their services, like award-winning composers to score our film, award-winning animators and CGI people to help with the editing and post-production. So a lot of people don't realize that don't work in the film industry is that when you think about Hollywood and filming, you think about when you're on set with the cameras and stuff, but that's actually the small part of the production. The biggest part is what comes before in pre-production and what comes afterwards in post-production. That's where the real work and magic begins. So we're at the pre-production stage, And if everything goes according to plan, we should start shooting this later on this year or early 2019.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah.
Wow. And I guess so. We'll have to just keep our eyes out for that. What's it called, 1,000?
1000, The Sword and the Stone,
Yeah.
and it's already listed on IMDb, the Internet Movie Database.
And you mentioned you had some big name Hollywood actors in there. Can we talk about that?
Well, there's a couple that we're still working on that we can't reveal at the moment because I'm still talking with their agents. And but we still have a number of other actors, like a local actor named Nick Mancuso from Toronto, who's done a lot of Hollywood stuff.
We've had Nick here on the show before.
Yeah. There's another actor named Jordan Prentice from London, Ontario. He's like a little person actor. He played Howard the Duck, and he's playing Nope the Dwarf in our film. And we have another actor from London, England, named John Campling, who worked on the Harry Potter films.
Yeah.
But there's a couple other big names that we're working on. One to make a cameo at the end of the film to play the role of King Arthur, and another one to play a supporting principal role. Actually, it would be one of the lead roles that we're currently discussing with his agent, and we feel very optimistic about both.
Okay, good.
But because no contracts have been signed yet, we can't reveal who those people are. But
and you're playing two characters?
I'm playing two characters. I'm playing a monk,
Yeah.
and I'm playing a drunk gambler.
A monk and a drunk?
Yeah, a monk and a drunk. Maybe the monk will be drunk and the gambler will be sober. Who knows? But
Is there going to be some comedic elements?
yeah, I think the monk's going to be more serious, but the drunk gambler is going to be comedic because we have this professional dancer from Romania who's going to be playing the gypsy queen in our movie, and there's a dance sequence that she's doing in a tavern, and then she's going to land on my lap and slap me around when I try to kiss her, and I'm going to be knocked out cold because I've been drinking too much. And she's going to be doing a lot of her stunts too, because we're going to have her hanging upside down from a rope and stuff, and it's going to be a really wild film.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gypsy queen, yeah.
All right.
From
Cool.
Romania. We have actors I'm casting from London, Romania, the U.S. A lot of them are actually actors from Toronto that I've worked with, because it's important that I feel you know who you're casting. Like, it's not enough that that they're talented actors. I want them to be good people as well, because we're gonna have to live with these people on set, off set. So I didn't want to cast any prima donnas, which there are a lot of in this industry. I wanted to have people have their heads screwed on right, who are grounded, professional, show up on set prepared, who are extremely talented. And I can say that we have 7 award-winning actors and at least 24 more that have worked on award-winning productions. So it's an extremely talented cast. And I just wanted to make sure, in addition to being talented, that we didn't have any prima donnas on set. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's exciting. Is there any other major projects you're involved in that you want to
A lot of my free time seems to be focused on that. Like, when I was just doing the acting part, I can go from project to project. But when you start wearing a producer's hat, as you know, there's a lot more work involved. A lot of planning and strategizing and coordinating and dealing with different people, different personalities, scheduling, investors, budgeting. So a lot of my free time right now is focused on this film, 1000, The Sword and the Stone. And I'm still going to auditions for TV commercials. I actually came back from one now. It was actually a callback for an electronics commercial, playing a dad, a comedic role. I feel like I did well. They coming back a second time, so I guess they liked what I saw the first time around. And I guess I'll find out at the end of the week on Friday if I got the part or not. So keep my fingers crossed.
And the rest of us will find out as we're flipping around the TV dial and we see your face there.
Yeah, I see your face there. Funny thing is, I work on all these productions that, you hope ends up on TV, and I don't even own a TV set at home. It's like,
You don't?
no, I just cut the cord on the cable, and I figured, at home it's mostly radio and books, and then I have my laptop. A lot of the internet's the way to go now, because if you want to watch TV shows, even like you and like I'm a fan of a lot of the older TV shows, and I don't know who these people are, but they keep uploading all these old TV shows on YouTube, like Gilligan's Island, Bewitched, and all the good stuff that they just don't do anymore for some reason. Mm-hmm. So everything's online now.
Who needs a TV? You can just plug in your laptop to your big screen TV.
Yeah.
And you got the whole
Yeah.
history of everything available to
Yeah,
you.
I was in Montreal 2 weeks ago. I spent some time with family, and when I was in the evenings and I got back to the hotel, I turned on the TV, and you can actually hook up to YouTube at the hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was watching all these episodes of Anthony Bourdain. A big fan of his show, and then he died like 2 days ago. It's like, man, that's a shocker. I love the guy's shows. The guy's amazing. Travels around the world and tries out new cuisine and stuff, and tries out new cultures, new people, and. A great idea for a TV show, and he's just a perfect character, perfect guy for it, and then he just died.
What the heck was going on there? Do you think there's something fishy about that?
Yeah, I think there's something that people call it Pizzagate.
So what do you know about it? Not Pizzagate, but the Anthony Bourdain thing, or Pizzagate, or...
There's a lot of shocking things I'm discovering right now that people are posting on Twitter and stuff. Like, there was one episode he did where he actually ate human brain.
Yeah.
So, and he actually admitted that he's okay with cannibalism. And then there's actually a restaurant in Los Angeles for the wealthy elite down there that serves human meat. It's Cannibalism Restaurant, an LA nightclub.
What's it called, that restaurant?
Oh, it's on my Twitter right now.
Planning a trip down there.
Yeah. But apparently they sometimes will get people to cook the stuff, like a celebrity chef, and he was one of them.
What?
And so what's coming on now is that he's been one of the clients there as well too, and people like Meryl Streep and Katy Perry are regulars at this restaurant.
Katy Perry I could see, but Meryl Streep, I'm shocked.
I'm shocked about that one too, but then it goes just to show you when you reach a certain level in our society, like people get shocked about cannibalism, but this stuff's been going on since the beginning of time by our ruling elite.
Are you sure? I mean, I've seen some YouTube videos that kind of say that.
Yeah.
But where do you get your information?
From the internet.
Which means it's true.
Which means it's true. I mean, it's not fake news. It's got to be real.
No, of course not.
But I mean, like, everyone, we see like Trump against Clinton, or Trump against Bourdain saying something bad about Trump, and Robert De Niro saying F to Trump, but then behind closed doors, these guys are shaking hands and drinking beer together.
You think?
You
Really?
think? Yeah, you think. It's like wrestling. It's like wrestling. They fight each other in the ring. Then after the fight, they have beer 2 blocks away at the local pub. Just make sure no one knows about it.
Really? Do you think? Okay, so you think that? So you got Anthony Bourdain. What, he died this week, right? Or
Yeah.
over the weekend or something.
Yeah.
And then we had that other woman, David Spade's, I guess,
She was
sister-in-law.
involved with Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation.
Something like that, right? That's what I heard.
Yeah.
On the internet.
Yeah. I mean, here's what I think.
Yeah.
As an actor, sometimes it doesn't happen a lot, but very rarely you'll get the opportunity to reach a level that most actors will give their left nut for, excuse my language. And it's almost like winning the lottery when you get to that point. But there's a price you got to pay, almost like selling your soul to the devil.
How do you know?
Because I was offered that opportunity as well too.
What do you mean it's like selling your soul to the devil?
It's almost like joining the mob. It's like they'll give you this opportunity to be involved in big productions in Hollywood, multi-million-dollar productions,
Yeah.
and they'll push you. They have the power to push you and make you a big name,
Right.
but it comes with a price. You got to pay back. And the thing is, once you accept and you join, the only way you can't leave. The only way to leave is they'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what happens sometimes when people get to that level, they realize, oh shit, do I really want to do this? I can't back out now.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to back out. They don't want to continue. And then those powers that be remind them, hey, this was the deal you agreed to. You got to go through with certain things. I'm not going to get into any details of what those certain things are, but that's the price they pay. So it's like, and so I've had other actors who have told me that they've been given that opportunity and they turned it down. And then I had something like that happen to me too, and I turned that down.
You turned it down.
Yeah, because I just see what happens with a lot of these people. They enter a world that they don't want to get into. I mean, you get all this money and you get the cars and the mansion and the fame, but then you're a prisoner. You think you're not free now. You're not free, especially when you get to that point, because you got to answer to some people
Yeah.
that they helped you attain what you wanted to attain. Like with Anthony Bourdain, he says he was poor, he had credit card problems.
I saw that
and then
interview.
his big break was when he submitted a story to the New York Post or the
Something like that, yeah.
and then he got offered a book publishing deal where they gave him $50,000 check to write a book, and his wife says, "Is this a joke?" And he says, "No." And that was the beginning of.
And he said it was like a miracle
Yeah.
thing. But also, he was very well connected. His mom was the editor of maybe the New Yorker or something like that.
Yeah.
And his dad was a big something
New York
or other.
Post.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he was a nobody.
No.
I mean, he had connections.
Because those people are connected to the powers that
To
be.
the
You
big
can
powers.
call them whatever you want to call them, Illuminati or the ruling elite or, the people that run our world.
You think that's true, Rick? I mean, we hear this stuff if you watch YouTube.
Yeah.
But
They don't want us to believe it, but
So,
that's
okay.
what...
So, now, let's just go to the moment when you were offered that opportunity, right? Like, how did you know that saying yes to that opportunity was going to be kind of imprison you? Like, how did you know that?
Because of other actors who were presented that opportunity and then accepted it,
Yeah.
and then a few years later they regretted it and wanted to leave, and then next thing you know they mysteriously committed suicide.
So these are people you knew personally, or I mean,
People
we hear
from
these
Hollywood.
stories. We
People
hear the
from
stories
Hollywood.
stories like, who's that guy from Australia that played the Joker? That guy. He was probably one of those, right?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger,
Yeah.
right? He's probably, and there's so many of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very strange
Yeah.
that there's so much of that, and in the rock music.
In the
field
rock
as
music,
well.
and they all died when they were
27.
27 years old. It's all,
Yeah.
it's all.
It's very strange. I mean, way more than.
They say fact is stranger than fiction, right?
And then when you think about Anthony Bourdain, I guess he strangled himself, right? And so did that girl, that Spade
He was
woman.
getting to be very outspoken and very powerful person, world famous. Everyone loves the show, knows him by his show, and he was also very outspoken against child trafficking.
He was against it?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
going to come out and say some stuff.
But yet
and
he was cooking at that cannibal restaurant.
Yeah, this is the thing I'm trying to figure out because, like I say, there's one world that we live in that we think exists, that they want us to believe is the reality, and then there's the other reality that the ruling elite lives in. That you might see like Trump doesn't like Clinton, and vice versa, and Bourdain says something bad about Trump. But then behind closed doors, they're like buddy and drinking beers together and stuff. It's just a public persona. It's like the powers that be, they want you to believe this side's fighting this side, but they're pulling the strings on both sides.
As you say, it's like
They're-
the wrestling.
they're-
It's like wrestling.
It's like the wrestling. They're financing both sides of a war. That way they'll make money from both ends during the war,
Do you think it's worse now than it used to be? Like, for example, I was watching some old films over the weekend, and like Betty Davis or Rock Hudson or some of those great old actors, Humphrey Bogart. Like, do you think it was that bad in those days that those people had to kind of sell their souls as well?
It's been going on since the beginning of time. And Disney's a big part of it too.
Well,
Yeah.
Club 33.
Yeah. It's been going on since the beginning of time. I mean, that's the world we live in. Like some people, they're in shock when they first find out about this stuff, but this kind of stuff's been going on since the beginning of time. It's kind of a way, when you agree to join up with these people at that level and they ask you to do certain things, it's their way of asking you to prove how loyal you are to the group for all this good things we're giving you, the money and the fame and the fortune. But like I said, there's a price you got to pay for it. It's like selling your soul to the devil because
Well,
once you're in, boy. It's like the mob, even worse than the mob.
Well, and then there's that interview, you've probably seen it with Bob Dylan talking to Ed Bradley from 60 Minutes. Where,
No, I didn't see that
Oh,
one.
it's a good one. Basically, Bob Dylan admits he had to sell his soul to the devil.
Yeah, and the
Why-
Stones did a song about that too.
Yeah, and
know?
well, they had an album called His Satanic Majesty's
Yeah.
Request, right?
Classic, yeah.
And they had a death in the band, right?
Yeah, right from the beginning. That's the other thing too about these guys. There's always a member that dies early on, or something crazy goes on, like Sid Barrett and Pink Floyd, the Rolling Stones, Davy Jones.
What happened to Davy Jones?
You don't know? Oh, it's old news. It's fake. Maybe it's fake news. I don't know.
Wait, tell me.
He drowned. Or was it a drowning accident?
From
a
the
drowning accident?
From the Monkees?
No.
Wait, Davy
Maybe
Jones.
I'm getting myself
Which
mixed.
band are you talking about?
Okay, I'm getting my. It's the guy from the Stones. What was his name? The guy.
Oh, Brian Wilson. Brian Jones.
Brian Jones. I knew
Yeah.
it was Jones.
Yeah, okay.
I'm getting those guys mixed up.
Yeah.
Maybe they're related. Who knows? I mean, that's another conspiracy theory. But there always seems to be some in those bands early on, like one member that mysteriously dies early on before they make it big. And
Or how about the Beatles? You know about the Paul McCartney being
yeah,
replaced?
that's another one. Yeah,
So I have a book, the audio biography of the new guy.
the new guy.
Yeah.
Was he on the show before?
No.
Oh, you got to get him on a show.
Oh, well.
Yeah, he's very convincing. It looks and sounds just like the original guy.
And he's good. He's as good as well,
Yeah?
right? In terms of songwriting
I just
and
find
all
that he's just a little bit more. His face a little bit more wider.
He's a little taller.
Taller?
He's got blue eyes instead of brown eyes.
Okay, that's it. Yeah,
The
well,
ears are different.
maybe the eyes are different because he's a reptilian shapeshifter. That's
think?
another theory.
Do you believe
Yeah,
that?
you have to have a
stuff?
special blood type like Rh negative, which mine is. What's your blood type, by the way?
I'm not sure.
Oh, you don't want to. That's
No,
a smart answer.
no, I don't know
For
what it
someone
is.
who knows but doesn't want to reveal it, they'll say, I'm not
I-
too sure. I
so-
know from experience. This is good. He's very smart.
So,
Yeah.
so wait, you got Rh negative?
ORH negative, which is a universal blood donor, which means anyone can get my blood type, but I can only get the ORH. And then when you dig into this, because this is all new stuff to me too, it's like known as the blue bloods. The royal bloodlines are ORH negative, like Queen Elizabeth and Prince
Yeah.
Charles. They say it's blue bloods because our blood is copper based, and when copper oxidizes, it turns to the color blue, right?
Like Spock. He
Like
had copper-based blood.
There you go. So he's the original ORH negative. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was that blood type as well too. But it's something like maybe 6% of the world has this blood type. It's very rare.
It's very rare.
But you'll find that almost all the U.S. presidents had this blood type.
Yeah.
The royal bloodlines and all the ruling elites, like the bank presidents, the studio executives of Hollywood, and And I have this blood type, but I'm still You don't want to even look at my bank account. But then again, they offered me and I turned them down, so that explains it right there.
Okay. So, all right now. Okay. So, what does this mean, though? I mean, you think about it. Then, for people that are embarking on their professional career, whether it's in acting or business or something else, right? It's almost as if, unless you are willing to sell your soul to whoever the powers that be, that you're going to hit a glass ceiling at some point,
Yeah.
or maybe you're just not even going to get a leg up
Exactly.
at
It's
all.
like what I tell the young actors in Canada. It's like they ask me, "Can you become a star in Canada?" I go, "No," because it's a good place to start. Especially Toronto has a vibrant independent film scene, so you can build up your credits, your experience, good stuff for your demo reel. Then you can only go so far, and you hit that glass ceiling. And then what you got to do? You got to do like all the other successful Canadian actors do: is you got to go down to Los Angeles or New York. That's what you do to get past that ceiling, because down there, those are where the people are that can make or break your career. The people have the power. The people who are part of that group I'm telling you about that will give you this opportunity, but once you agree to it, you're in it for life. It's like selling your soul to the devil. And then if you decide then that you don't want to live up to their bargain, your end of the deal, you somehow end up mysteriously committing suicide. Like Anthony Bourdain, even though everyone you talk to says he seemed like he was a happy guy, he had his daughter to live for, had a very successful TV show, was happy with his life. All of a sudden, he shows up, and it's always like they're always found hanging. Like, if I'm gonna kill myself, I want it to be quick and painless. I don't
even know how to.
How do you even hang yourself?
I don't know how to tie that knot.
I would want to do it quick and painless, not a hanging, because that would be like a slow death. I'd want to go quick and painless. So there's something fishy there going on. Definitely.
Yeah. Especially that woman too.
Yeah. And they say
big
it comes in threes, and I was only number 2, so I wonder who the third one's going to be.
Well, there was some singer that died. I can't remember their name, but
Since the Anthony Bourdain does?
Ariachi or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I never heard of it. So.
So that maybe that's not the number 3 we're waiting for.
But anyways, very fishy. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but what are the implications? I mean, because and now, and it's funny, I know you were speaking Portuguese to Simone in the other room.
Yeah,
And she was talking about AI and the
yeah,
whole future.
artificial
And
intelligence.
you're all about that. In fact, you were saying that you, that, what's her name?
Sophia?
was in Toronto.
Yeah,
I
last
didn't
month
know.
in May.
So what happened?
Somebody
I didn't hear about
uploaded
that.
a video. There's this robot, artificial intelligence. It's amazing. You got to look her up on YouTube. The facial expressions are realistic. You can tell she's listening to you. She's reacting to what you're saying, and she's learning every day. So she's getting smarter. She's evolving. And think about this: she's not human, which means potentially she can live on forever. So, and there's been a couple instances where she made it where it slipped out, where she says she would like to maybe one day take over the world and get rid of the humans. So
I know. I saw that.
yeah, so isn't that exciting? So
So what was she doing in Toronto? I didn't realize she was here.
well, she's actually touring the whole planet. She's like on a world tour right now. And so I was watching some videos where she was in Japan and China and the Far East. And then there was actually one video that somebody uploaded that she was in Toronto last month in May. I just, oh man, I wish I would have known about this. I would have liked to go there in person. And then Denise was saying maybe we should have her as a guest in the show one time.
Well, that would be that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just curious though. When she travels, does she have to buy a plane ticket like everybody else, or can she just
They just
go
store her in
into
the box and it goes in the cargo
yeah,
section,
she could go in the cargo.
where they store the coffins of dead people. If you don't know, like in airplanes, when you're sitting on top of everybody else, in the cargo, in the compartment where you throw your luggage, once in a while they'll throw some caskets in there, and dead people will travel with you on the airplane. So she's down there with those people
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Is she? So she's cheaper
in a
to
box.
fly, right?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. Well,
So-
but then they weigh you too. If it's too heavy, then they start charging you more too, right?
Well,
So
yeah,
what they do
but,
is they
I
take her apart and put her bits and pieces of her in smaller
Well,
packages.
you could bring her on as
And then-
carry-on luggage.
And then they reassemble her when they get to wherever she has to make her public speaking
yeah.
engagement.
See, that could be
Yeah.
very economical if we get the chance
Yeah.
one day to upload our consciousness into
Yeah.
AI. Then we could travel cheaper.
Yeah, I noticed even Will Smith was even trying to make a move on her, and she brushed him off. I find like a lot of the guys that end up asking her questions, they seem to be very attractive to her. Like whoever built Sophia did a great job because it's a very beautiful looking robot. And I was looking at this robot, and I'm thinking, who does she look like? She looks like somebody, resembles somebody in Hollywood. And I figured out it's Linda Carter, the actress who played in the 1970s TV show Wonder Woman. So if you give her hair, it'll look exactly like Linda Carter. So
Now, Linda Carter went out with. There was a certain actor that married Linda Carter.
okay,
I forget which one, but he was in
Artificial Intelligence?
The Ten Commandments.
Oh.
Yeah, the original one.
okay,
I forget what his name was, but anyways, and then that guy, whoever he was, I can't remember his name, he divorced Linda Carter and he married Bo Derek, John Derek.
okay,
That's what I'm talking about,
yeah.
I think. And Bo Derek looks like Linda Carter,
Yeah.
so that means Sophia looks like Bo Derek, which means she's a 10.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, like I say, you got to look her up if you don't know who she is and how she looks like. But they did a really masterful job in building her. And like I say, she's very smart. She's learning every day, and she's evolving and getting smarter. And like I said, she's not human, which means potentially she can live on forever. So who knows what she's going to be like 10 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now.
What do you think is going to happen? Are we going to merge with AI, do you think?
I think there's some people making a push to merge electronics with humans as a sort of way to kind of like prolong our life, maybe even become invincible and immortal, and and then even like take your brain and hook it up to a computer, and then be able to hack your brain and stuff. And
Or maybe we can just either just live in a virtual world, our consciousness, we
Yeah.
can lose our cells, our bones,
Yeah.
our skin,
yeah.
and or we
And
upload
then they
it.
capture that essence of you at the soul
Yeah.
level. And then who knows, maybe if someone hasn't done that already, and that's what this is right now. Maybe
Yeah.
this is virtual reality. We think it's reality. It feels pretty solid, and that's a microphone. It feels like one, but who knows if we're not part of somebody else's virtual reality.
Well, there's that whole idea that some people are saying that, is the universe a hologram? Is it a computer simulation?
Yeah. Like
yeah.
the Matrix.
Well, yeah. But that, on the other hand, we always we take our, what is the world? Well, we take what we already know, because really we've only come up with the idea of holograms over the last 50, 100 years, the idea of a computer simulation is, we didn't have that before computers, right? So we take these metaphors, we say the world is like a computer simulation, but we don't know. We don't know what it is.
But some people believe that we've had computers thousands of years ago, and we think it's just a new thing. But civilizations come and go, and there's been other civilizations that's been far more advanced than the civilization we live in today. And they keep finding evidence of it in archaeological digs, but people like the Rothschilds and the Vatican, they hide it and hoard it away, and so that the general public doesn't know that these things exist. And they have it all buried underneath like the Vatican archives in Rome, and the Rothschilds, God knows where they store all their stuff.
Okay, Rick, it sounds like you watch the same YouTube videos that I do.
Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good stuff. If they didn't want us to see it, they would have deleted those videos by now, right?
Okay, so okay, I got to ask you then, do you think the Earth is flat? Have you been following
That's
that?
another one. That's another one that's got me scratching my head now too, because well, I brought up to believe we live in a orb and stuff, and
yeah,
and
right?
I also believe our sun is a stargate as well.
Really?
Yeah.
But is the Earth flat, do you think?
Well, that is a good question because, I never traveled completely around the world.
Yeah.
I've traveled from here to Europe. I've traveled from here to South America. But I've never traveled completely nonstop around the world to figure that one out. And so it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder.
It does, actually. Yeah, it does. Because our senses really tell us that it's flat. I mean, you can go across Lake Ontario over to Niagara, look at the Toronto skyline.
Yeah, because if it was round, we wouldn't be able to see it. It would just be all water.
Well,
if it was far enough.
That's the interesting thing, is it's about the math of the curvature, which I don't quite understand.
Yeah.
But you should be able to, on a clear day, just drive an hour from here, set up a telescope, do some measurements, and very easily, quickly determine if there's any curvature there at all.
Yeah, and then there's the stuff about how we can't even escape the planet via spatial or rocket ships, because there's this thing that the whole world's supposed to be surrounded by that keeps us from escaping. I forget the exact name.
The firmament. It's in the Bible.
I think it's a firmament, but the modern day they use a different term or different description for it. Something to do with the rays or there's something there that prevents us from going out. Yeah. So this is basically like a prison planet. We're here. So we might be inside somebody's test tube or beaker right now, and we'll never be able to, or a petri dish, a flat one too, see, like the Earth, and not be able to escape it. And maybe there's a dome over it too, so it's like they can pass it on to their kids, and it's some giant kid's toy in the playpen, and that's all we are, is somebody's toy.
All right.
Somebody's pet hamster. We are somebody's pet hamster in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
So just
right, have we gone
don't
too
give me
far?
cheese, because I don't like cheese though.
You don't?
No.
I was eating cheese last
I like
night.
cheese, but I've got lactose intolerance. So.
Well, some people are lactose intolerant. Some people are just intolerant.
Of anything, not just cheese. Yeah.
Yeah, I was eating Havarti cheese last night.
Havarti, yeah.
Yeah, it was slices.
Is it
Havarti.
Gouda? Oh no, it's not Gouda. It's Havarti.
It was
cheese.
Havarti.
Yeah. Because if it was Gouda cheese, it would be Gouda cheese.
Well, I like those. Remember, in the old days, you only had one kind of cheese.
Yeah.
That cheddar cheese.
Fromage.
Yeah,
No,
but
cheddar.
now you got all those other cheeses.
Yeah, Kraft, the fake cheese. It's like fake news. Kraft slices and.
I still like those Kraft
And
slices.
the powdered stuff they put on the Kraft dinners. And
I love Kraft dinner. Do you like
Yeah.
Kraft dinner, Rick?
yeah, I love Kraft dinner.
Really?
Yeah, I have it with that other nutritious item. I'll boil like hot dogs and chop them up.
You
and
do
mix
that?
them with my Kraft dinners, so it's like.
Okay, you know what I do? I take raw garlic and I slice it. And I take like 2 big cloves and I'll slice it all up. I'll just throw it into the Kraft dinner.
Nice.
That way it makes it super healthy.
Yeah, that's
Right?
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart. Yeah, I'm starting to get more conscious about what I put inside. Like, I have like a big bottle of water with some lemon juice.
I do that too.
And I was never big on vitamins and minerals, but I found like as I'm getting older, I need calcium and magnesium before I go to bed, and B vitamins when I wake up because that's an energy booster. The calcium is good for your bones and teeth, and magnesium is good for your heart.
And it makes you calm.
Makes you calm so you can sleep better and takes away the cramps in your legs.
So
at nighttime.
yeah, that's right. If you get Charlie horses, that's a sign of magnesium deficiency.
Exactly.
So how do you get your magnesium supplements?
Well, the best way is to get it by food, which is by liver. I love liver, or green leafy vegetables, or this thing, a powdered product you can buy in Shoppers Drug Mart called Calm.
Yeah, I know that stuff.
And I use a lemon flavored one with hot water, and you top it off with juice or cold water, and it calms you down, it relaxes you, so you can sleep at nighttime.
You know, I want to go get some right now. You're making me want. We had those people who came up with that product. We had them on the show.
Oh, amazing! Good stuff.
And
big difference. I mean,
yeah.
it's good for your sleep. It's good for your cramps, for your heart, regular bowel movements.
It softens your stool.
Yeah, it's it's good for helping with your constipation. It's all good stuff. Magnesium is very important, and so I'm very conscious about that. The B vitamins and the calcium, magnesium, and that's what I do every night.
So do you have some of that calm stuff?
Yeah, at home, 2 of them.
So can you get that at Shoppers Drug Mart?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Between $35 and $40.
No, I know it's expensive, but it's worth it.
It's worth it. It lasts me about 3 weeks a month.
Some people say that there's so many health problems that are due to magnesium deficiency.
Oh,
like so many,
big time.
And including anxiety and depression.
Because what happens is the best magnesium sources like your green leafy vegetables, stuff that you get from the ground. But what happens is the land that our food is grown in today has been depleted of its minerals and vitamins that, for example, today you have to eat something like 7 oranges to get the equivalent of 1 orange from 50 years ago.
I know.
That's how much it's been depleted.
And
the
it's
nutrients
worse with
out of
apples.
the soil.
It's like something like 20 or 30 or 40 apples for one.
That's why it's necessary to get these vitamins and minerals to supplement what you're eating, because there's just not enough in the food we eat, because the soil that it's grown in has been depleted of its nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
So especially magnesium.
Yeah.
Huge. Like if you don't have magnesium, your heart stops beating. That's pretty important stuff.
Yeah. So many things. Yeah, I think you can look it up. Like all the problems that are caused by magnesium deficiency.
As soon as I started taking magnesium, my health started getting better.
Like what?
Like light and day.
Like what happened? What was
my energy came back. I can sleep better at night. My cramps went away. Get better bowel movements. I just feel better.
Yeah.
I can think more clear.
Right.
I don't have fatigue as much because I had a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
It's like it has a domino effect right down the line, because if you don't take magnesium, you have problems falling asleep. If you don't fall asleep, you're gonna have lots of problems after that. And sleep is so important part of your life.
That's funny. We were just talking about that with Alexi, like earlier on the show.
Yeah.
It's like, and she brought some product that is made out of, I don't know, it's some kind of miracle antioxidant from Norway.
Yeah.
It's made in BC though. It's from pine trees or spruce.
Yeah.
But it's just, how are we supposed to deal with that issue? Because, the food, the soil is depleted, right? We're not getting our
trace.
trace.
If the Illuminati get their way, they'd like to wipe out 80% of the world's population. That's their solution right there.
You think that's going to happen?
They're trying to, but they haven't been able to so far, because every time they try to, every time they want to, word gets leaked out to the right people who make sure it doesn't happen. There's some people on the inside who don't want this to happen, and who are.
Now, what do you think about those chemtrails? We were talking about that sort of earlier today.
Every time, like I do night shift security, so when I finish my shift, the sun's just getting up. I look up in the sky, I go, oh, there's those chemtrails again over Toronto. What are they doing? And there's a lot of different theories. You never know who to believe sometimes of this kind of stuff. But I know that they say that the ozone is depleted, and they're releasing some sort of metallic powder or even gold dust in the air so that it can deflect the harmful effects of the solar rays so that we don't get hurt from them, because our ozone's been depleted. So.
Well, I just heard that the ozone hole over Antarctica, and I heard this on the Weather Network, so it's official information.
When the Weather Network starts getting onto that mainstream.
Well, what they were saying was that the hole has recovered. pretty much.
Well,
or
the other
it's
thing that's
recovered.
happening too is that the I also try to follow on a daily basis the solar activity, which you can find out on Twitter using hashtag solar activity. Right now, the solar activity is very low.
Very low.
Very low.
Unprecedented levels.
Unprecedented, where actually the ice is starting to form again in the polar regions.
Yeah.
And they're predicting it's going to be like this for a while, which means longer winters, shorter summers, which also means when there's very low solar activity like we have now, like it's falling asleep, the sun, an increase in earthquakes and volcanic activity. So I'm also following those two things as well.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a correlation. I knew about the
Which
low
means
solar.
that if the ice caps are freezing up again and getting bigger again, the water levels are going to start going down again.
Well, they're not even going up.
Yeah.
Like really. Like if you're
Yeah.
at ocean level, nobody's really complaining.
Yeah.
Oh, the oceans
So-
are rising. They're not real. Nobody's really doing that.
No.
But yes, I've heard that the ice cover in the Arctic and Antarctic is increasing. For the last 10 years, it's been getting colder.
Yeah.
Because related to sunspot
Because of the
activity.
sunspot, is very low right now.
And it's the lowest it's ever been
Yeah,
in recorded,
history,
as long
yeah.
as they've been recording it. And they say there was,
like a mini ice age might be coming. They're saying.
right.
Like think about like just a couple weeks ago they had a big snowstorm in Newfoundland, and like last month they had the big ice storm in Toronto where a big chunk of it fell off the CN Tower and punctured a hole in the Sky Dome, and a bus driver was driving I think which baseball team that was coming to play the Blue Jays, and the other bus in front of it had ice falling off of it and hit the windshield and injured the driver. One of the baseball players had to grab the steering wheel or else the bus would have crashed on a QEW in Toronto. And this was like in May when that kind of weather is usually gone by now, even like a couple weeks ago when Newfoundland had a big snowstorm. So I'm following the weather patterns around the world because they're saying with the low solar activity, you're going to have longer winters, shorter summers, but also then an increase, a spike upwards in earthquake and volcanic activity.
So I didn't know about that one. So I didn't realize that was the case. But we certainly are seeming, like I don't know what the actual numbers are, but now we just had a volcano in Guatemala. Of course, we know what's happening in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Actually, Alexi off the air was mentioning.
Yeah, a snowstorm in Egypt where the pyramids were covered in snow.
They did?
In Rome, they had snow as well.
Oh yeah, they had Rome.
And they never get snow.
She said the UK had an earthquake,
There you go.
3.9, like last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, how often have we heard about earthquakes in the UK?
that's what I'm talking about, yeah.
So I don't know, Rick. What do you think's going to happen?
Maybe the big one's finally going to happen in California because of it.
Well, let's hope not.
Yeah, let's hope not, yeah.
Yeah. Now, so do you see any sign that the sunspot activities is going to go up or is coming
No,
up?
from
or-
what the people in the know that look at the stuff for a living, they're saying that for at least the next 50 years or so, which means that expected droughts as well, which means that there's going to be famines, an increase in famines and starvation, which means people actually go to war. Countries go to war over stuff like this too.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a
So-
big climate, I think in 535.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. So, when I mentioned to this about increased ice cover, people go, "Oh no, it's
And because of
getting
the
warmer."
droughts, it's going to be a thirsty planet as well. And Canada's got like a lot of water. And in the future, people are going to go to war over water.
See, if we had free energy, we could desalinate the oceans at will,
Yeah.
right? We could turn the Sahara into an Eden.
I believe they have that technology already.
The size, of course, yeah, but they don't want to release it.
No.
But think about it, if you took the Sahara, which is bigger than Canada, bigger than the U.S., and turned that into a fertile garden, right? You could house. I mean, it's the size of China. And even China's got 1 billion people only in about half the country, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could house a lot of people there. They could live. They'd have enough water. They could grow food. So a lush tropical climate. I mean,
Sure.
we could do that. We
Yeah.
just have to have the will to say, you know what, we're gonna.
And it's the
solve our
powers that be, the
problems.
people that sort of run the planet, they don't want any of it because the way the system's set up, they're
Yeah.
profiteering from it.
Yeah.
That's what gives them the power. That gives them the power over the rest of the population.
What is it really? Do you think behind all that?
Behind all that?
Who's Yeah, who's behind it?
That is really outside the box. I can go really outside the box with this if I'm allowed to.
Well, we're allowed to.
Because I know we discussed that maybe we're living in a prison planet and we can't escape from it and stuff, but I believe it's a non-human entity
Yeah,
that is present in a world
Yeah.
that is the big boss of this world.
yeah. Yeah, I think we're definitely watching the same YouTube videos, Rick.
Well, I also belong to a UFO group here in Toronto.
You do?
And and we talk about this stuff there all the time. We have people in the group who claim to have first-hand knowledge of all this kind of stuff. So the UFO group is open to anyone who has an open mind about this. But some of the members also have real-life experience with abductions and UFO sightings and all that
What's the
sort of
group called?
stuff. It's they have a group. I forgot what website it is, but it's a UFO group. My friend Charlie Kundalini, who runs it, and James Borg.
I know James
They've
Borg.
probably been on the show before.
Yeah, he's been on the show
Yeah.
before.
It's a small world, eh? We seem to know a lot of the same people.
So, I mean, we have a UFO group that comes here
Yeah,
once a
and then
month.
you had that one guy here that you did a show on, Travis. They did a movie on Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, Fire in the Sky.
yeah,
Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have some real life experience with that stuff.
You
as
do?
well. Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I'm originally from Hamilton, Ontario, and the harbor, Hamilton Harbor, Lake Ontario, that western end of Lake Ontario, it's a real hot spot for UFO and orb activity. As a matter of fact, there's somebody who lives out of St. Catharines, Ontario, who has a website called orbwatch.org, and she uploads photos and images of these orbs that she says that you can see that pops out of Lake Ontario from under the water. It doesn't come down from the sky. It comes out from under the water. And
I've heard about that. Yeah.
You know, and so I've seen these orbs where, and I've always had a fascination with this stuff my whole life. So then, and my parents know this, and they said, "Oh, you're just a kid. You'll grow out of it." And then one time, it was hot summer night. We didn't have air conditioning back then, and my mother couldn't sleep, and she was washing the dishes like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we have this window over the sink has a clear view of the Hamilton Harbor, and she sees these lights in the sky. So she runs upstairs to my room and wakes me up, look out the window, I go, "See, those are the lights I'm telling you about," I tell all the time. But even to this day, after my mother was the one who woke me out of bed, she doesn't want to believe that these lights actually existed. But they were like orange-colored orbs, like miniature suns, that formed an upside-down V formation in the sky right over the Hamilton Harbor.
Were they? Do you think like within? You know where the Skyway is? Were
Yeah.
they inside the harbor? Do you
Yeah,
think?
right above, it's just outside the Skyway Bridge,
Okay.
where it starts to get deeper again.
Like right out over the lake.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I've heard there's like a Bermuda Triangle in
Yeah,
Lake
the
Ontario.
group that I belong to, that UFO group, believe there's an underwater
Yeah.
UFO base
I mean,
there.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Um.
But Hamilton's a strange town to begin with anyways. That's a whole other show about Hamilton.
Well. Oh yeah. I know. So
It's the headquarters for the Freemasons of Canada,
I know that.
and they've got underground railway network all over the city that nobody knows about.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Tell
It
me
was
about
used during the war years because Hamilton was the steel center of Canada.
Yeah.
So when they're producing when the production from regular steel switched over to the production of armaments and ammunition for the war effort,
that. Yeah.
all the steel mills were connected underground by a railway network, and also City Hall, and also the armories on James Street was just like the military base. General public's not supposed to know about this stuff, because one time I asked, why doesn't Hamilton have a subway like Toronto? And they go, well, because there's already underground rail network there. Because I was doing security one time in Hamilton at a company called Slater Steels, and my security partner had experience in the military and was actually based at the armories on James Street in Hamilton. So yeah, one time when I first got there, I had to go get a haircut in the building. So they directed me to go to a freight elevator that was big enough to fit 2 big trucks inside, and there was another military personnel running the elevator. So he says, "Where to?" I said, "I need to go get a haircut." So he went down a few levels, and he asked the guy running the elevator, "How far down does this thing go?" He goes, "The equivalent of a 30-story building in downtown Hamilton." I go, "Really?" In Hamilton? He goes, "Oh." So he actually went down there, and he says there's a bunch of military vehicles down there and railway networks.
He went down there, but you didn't see that.
No, this is a story this guy's telling me.
Yeah.
But then also there's another factory in Western Hamilton. When Hamilton started losing all the manufacturing, all the factories started dwindling and went out of business or because of cheap labor in third world countries. A company called Camco, they used to build furniture in there, and there's a construction company with bulldozers and stuff, bulldozing the factory that used to be there. and one of the bulldozers fell down in a hole and landed down underground on one of these underground railway networks. And when the construction workers got down there, they said, "What the hell are these railway networks doing over here?" Like, we had no idea, right?
Why don't they convert it into a subway? That'd be
Because
cool.
they may still want to use it.
As a secret network.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Hamilton
But
is-
then when I started looking into this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
it's all over North America, the underground railway.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow, I heard a story that there's a underground railroad across the Atlantic
Yeah.
and all over the place.
Yeah. But then I can even go outside the box of that railway thing in Hamilton too. But
Like what?
then I didn't have to always look over my shoulder, because then some guys, like when I moved to Toronto, my UFO and orb experience went down. Most of my experience of that was in Hamilton.
Yeah.
But what increased in Toronto was my Men in Black experience. So I know that they're watching me very closely, because sometimes I tend to be outspoken and be open about these things, and there's certain things they don't want us to be open about.
So
with
have
the
you met
public.
the men from Black?
I've seen them. I know they're watching me.
I hear they have bad breath.
I haven't been that close to find out. I'll be like on the second floor of my house. I look out the window at nighttime, and there they are outside their car, looking up at me. Or they'll have the black unmarked helicopter hovering over my house in Toronto near Broadview and Millbrook at 3 o'clock in the morning, and just hover over our house for 2 hours straight. And the neighbors wake up because it's noisy, and they're all looking up. What the hell is a helicopter doing hovering over your house
You
like
know
that?
what? Okay, I got a story. So where's Millbrook?
It's between Gerard and Danforth.
So you don't live too far from where I live, because I live down at Queen and Carlisle.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And there was a I think a black one, just hovering, like basically right straight up, right, for like a long time, and it was, I was sitting in the backyard, and it was too loud. It was like, this is annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, why is he there? It's like, it's interfering with
Yeah, my earliest experience of the black unmarked helicopter, I was still in Hamilton. I had an apartment on the 20th floor that had a clear view of the Hamilton Harbor at nighttime, and I saw the UFO and orbs again, right? All of a sudden, they just disappeared, and you see these 3 unmarked helicopters come from out of nowhere and circling the area where these orbs used to be. And I'm just watching this stuff like fascinated. I go, wow, that's amazing. All of a sudden, they turn around and they start flying towards me, these helicopters,
Yeah.
and getting closer. And I heard this voice saying, "Go inside and hide." I'm going, who the hell was that? Go inside. I'm thinking, why do I gotta go inside and hide for? I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Get inside and hide right now. Where the hell is that voice coming from? So I get inside my apartment. I shut off the lights. The curtain is still open, and I hide behind a couch. I take a peek, and the middle helicopter is right outside my window, and scanning a light through my apartment. Like
Are you
he's looking
serious?
for something. Like he's looking for something.
That is so weird.
I'm going, what the fuck is this shit? Oh, sorry, my language, but it's like, is this stuff really happening? Like, come on, man.
Rick, that's crazy story.
It is crazy stuff. And then I see these videos where people, they get hypnotized,
Yeah.
and then they realize that stuff like that, maybe it wasn't a helicopter, maybe it was something else. But your memory, for some reason, is trying to remember it as a helicopter. But I remember it as a helicopter that flew towards me on my 20th floor balcony after seeing these orbs over the Hamilton Harbor. And I shut off the lights in my apartment. And when I took a peek behind the couch, it beamed a light into my apartment, and it was scanning inside my room like it was looking for something. And this is right after the voice told me go inside and hide.
What do you think was going on?
Those are, I don't know if they're military or the Men in Black, but there was a connection to the sighting there, because it happened right after those orbs were flying over the Hamilton Harbor.
It's weird. I'll just tell you what happened with this helicopter that was like right above me, and it was bothering me. I actually got on the phone to the city or whatever, and I said, what, I just said, what's going on? I just wanted to, like, what is happening? It was annoying, right?
I did that too.
And right after I did that, it went away.
In Hamilton, when we saw those orbs in my family, that formed the Upside Down V formation,
Yeah.
I phoned the police station.
Yeah.
The first officer picks up the phone, put me on hold. 10 minutes later, another officer, she put me on hold. The third officer that came on, she goes, yeah, our phone's ringing off the hooks about those lights, but don't worry, it's just a search party. We're looking for a missing boat in the Hamilton Harbor. That's the story they gave us. The next day,
Yeah.
on the front cover of the Hamilton Spectator,
Yeah.
they posted a picture that somebody submitted to the newspaper of these lights.
Yeah.
And I remember the date. It was August the 14th. That was my birthday, too.
Do you remember what year?
I was still in Hamilton, living on Greg Street near the Hamilton Harbor. And I was still starting my college 1990, 1991, early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, what do you think these? I mean, there's one theory about the flying saucers that I mean, of course, everybody thinks, oh, they're from another planet. Oh, how can we be the only?
Maybe they're time travelers, us traveling back in time.
Or maybe they're not even. Maybe they're
they're from another dimension.
Yeah.
They live in the same space, but different dimension, different.
Or maybe they're demonic.
Vibration. Maybe they're
That's-
saying
right?
that's the other thing. More people are saying that. I don't think these are aliens. I think they're more demonic in nature.
And
You
I
know.
have to say, we've got a UFO experiencers group that comes in here, and I listen to some of the stories.
Like Paul Hillier, for example.
Well, Paul Hellier, well, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
And we've had him on the show before.
Yeah, I've
too,
seen those,
right?
yeah.
I mean, we're talking about monetary reform, but
Yeah.
now it's all about aliens and stuff. So nobody wants to talk about monetary reform anymore. How convenient. I'm just. Some people say that a lot of these phenomenon they're really not. You know, it's not like you're seeing a metal spaceship. It's more.
The energy,
It's more
like-
a mental experience, right?
Which is why you can they never seem to have good photographs of these things.
Yeah. Although there was a picture in the Spectator of these orange
orb,
lights,
yeah,
which
the
was
lights, yeah.
interesting, but still, it wasn't like a definitive
Exactly.
metal
Yeah.
spacecraft or anything like
Right.
that.
Like when I saw these orbs in Hamilton, I'm not saying those are spaceships, those are flying saucers, but it's UFO. UFO means unidentified.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is.
We don't
Flying
know what it
object.
is. Yeah.
So and then there's people that from all around the world that experience these balls of energy, like in the Phoenix Lights in Arizona, and I guess the basketball team, the Phoenix Suns, is named after that too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
You know, and yeah, it's a worldwide phenomenon. It wasn't just a Hamilton phenomenon with me, because even this researcher in St. Catharines, Ontario, that runs the website orbwatch.org, she's getting people submitting their video and photos of this phenomenon, and it's whole worldwide, not just Southern Ontario. So
Okay, Rick. What's going to happen in the next 20 years
with this stuff,
with everything?
well, everyone keeps talking about disclosure. They're finally going to come out. They're saying maybe Donald Trump is going to be the disclosure president.
Oh, yeah. That'll be good.
That'll be good, yeah. Then I'll probably maybe start liking him at that time.
Well, he looks like he's doing well in Korea.
Yeah, but then
Right.
again, at that level, like I say, they're all friends and drink beer together. This is the show they're putting for us at this level.
Yeah.
But behind closed doors, they're at that level. It's like, hey, buddy, how you doing? How do you like your Korean beer? Okay, chilled, no problem. In a mug, here you go, Trump. Yeah.
Okay, Rick.
It's like wrestling. They fight each other in the ring. We're gonna blow you to smithereens. Oh yeah, we're gonna throw a missile at your country. Then they go out and drink beer together. Like
in other
wrestling.
words, all the world's a stage.
Yeah, we are all
Right.
we are all actors in it.
And okay, Rick. Anything else you want to leave people with today? I mean, this has been a very far-ranging and entertaining conversation.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that coming soon, a theater near you. If you miss me, get the DVD.
Okay, rickcordero.com is the website, and of course, we're all going to be on the lookout for that movie, 1,000,
The Sword and the Stone.
The Sword in the Stone.
Yeah.
That sounds like an amazing project. And I don't know if you got to rush off, Rick, but we're supposed to have Joe Ego coming on the show, who's a master energy healer, and he was on the show before, and he brought a piece of a alien spacecraft,
Nice.
a piece of metal, like that they couldn't
Yeah,
determine what kind of metal what it
yeah.
was. So I'm hoping he's out in the other room right now, and we can come in and we can keep this crazy conversation going.
Yeah, it's like the stuff they found during the Roswell crash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Roswell.
1947, I believe, where they had that material that it's strong, you can't tear it apart and destroy it, but you can fold it and then it'll it'll unfold itself and be straight with no wrinkles or crinkles in it. So
I know.
he brought that stuff in.
This was more of a little more heavy metal.
Yeah.
But,
did he say? Did he reveal where he got it from? Where he
he
found it?
found it on the shore of Lake Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go, folks.
So he maybe-
Underwater UFO base.
Maybe he brought it with him today. I don't know.
That'll be amazing.
But listen. But anyways, rickcordero.com. Rick, great to have you on. Great to.
My pleasure. Anytime you want to do this, I'm available.
Okay. So we're gonna take a little break. Hopefully Joe Ego is in the other room. We'll get him on the show. Maybe Rick will stick around and we'll keep this thing going.
Yeah, great.
All right. ThatChannel.com. See you in a couple of minutes.